Welcome back, everybody. Good morning. Right, so we went to Wrecked City yesterday, and we continued to go to Wrecked City throughout the day. We sort of found a significant area. We're looking at the atom chart for some reason here, which actually is in the green. It's actually one of those charts which didn't create a lower low. Not saying that that means anything particularly, but it didn't do it, so we'll just leave that there, shall we? So Bitcoin now smashed through this horizontal. That is a bit of a problem in the structural situation when you come to looking at Bitcoin. However, I made a tweet, didn't I? 70% chance of reversal from this area. It's basically true. If you're going to get a turnaround like a V-shaped recovery, there's a couple of places you'd be looking for it to take place from. One would have been the 20 weekly moving average, which unfortunately we have now lost. But it is only Wednesday, and you can lose it. You can lose it within the week. And so long as you reclaim it by the weekly close, it should be okay. It just ends up being a wick. The other place is going to be a 200 simple or exponential moving average. Now, you can backtest this on lots of charts, and it's never perfect, I have to say. It's not perfect. So you shouldn't really hold your breath. I've got myself into quite a few significantly sized longs, I have to say. And I'm going to hope for the best. I'm just going to hope for the best. They're all in profits, so the stop losses are at break even. I mean, these longs, if you saw them on Telegram, they are like 50, 100, 150, 200x longs. They're not for the faint-hearted. But they're only small though, a few $100s each. But if you're looking at making thousands of percent, obviously that's all you need. And obviously it doesn't take long to get whacked in the face with those. So they're kind of more for fun, really. I do have some more moderately sized longs as well. Right, so let's have a look at the back testing. So we have a golden cross, we had a retest. Okay, we had a golden cross, we had a retest. You had a bit of a fannying around below them there, and then you kind of came down to retest them again, bouncing up from here. So, this golden cross has been in place since the beginning of the this rally over here in 2023. So it's been a long time coming. We've had moves into it and then bounces out from it. Moves into it, bounces out from it. It's not perfect at all. This is the closest it's come to being a perfect retest. And so far, it's actually played out okay. It's a whopping 3.09% from there. Fine. Okay, what else have we got? We've got Ethereum. So Ethereum has not yet made another wick low. So recognize what's going on here. Bitcoin has made a new low, right? People talk about being a Bitcoin maxi, Bitcoin is super strong. We know that Bitcoin is strong. We see it. We reflect on our own portfolios. We understand that it's important to own Bitcoin. But as of this very moment in time, altcoins have not made a wick low. Now, that does not mean that they won't. And it's really annoying because on the last Patreon stream on Sunday, we were and ahhing because Bitcoin was pointing down, most altcoins were pointing down, but Ethereum was actually pointing up with a bit of a rounded bottom to it. And we were like, it's so annoying that this is how it is because Ethereum is presenting in a way that it looks like it wants to reverse. It really does look like it wants to reverse, whereas Bitcoin is basically looking like it wants to come down. So, we always say it doesn't matter how good your altcoin chart looks. If Bitcoin decides it's time to go down, it's going to deny that setup for you on whatever altcoin. It's very rare that any altcoin will sustain even its price, never mind a continuous uptrend or move up with Bitcoin goes down. But at least what we can reflect on here, or what we can recognize is that, okay, there was a rounded bottom. It was looking good. It did get rejected, but it hasn't made a wick low. Fine. So, relatively positive in that respect. Now, we are doing a Patreon live stream tonight. Whether or not that is going to be useful in times like this, we don't really know. Now, my overall expectation is still, believe it or not, that this will all recover and move up and on, and we will see at least Ethereum back up at 4,000, maybe even as soon as next month, right? I know it's a bold statement. Yeah, I'm not saying it to win subscribers. I'm not saying it to make friends. I'm saying it because I still believe that is the case. I really honestly do. But, until we start to see that, it's going to be hard to imagine it, because at the moment, everything's on its way down, and absolutely everything is on its way down. So here we have the total 2. It's still bouncing again above this horizontal trend line, the 108 trillion. If we go over to the weekly, obviously we've lost a lot of moving averages at this stage. The 50 exponential is holding it. Obviously we go to the daily, we've lost the 200 simple and exponential, but we are still holding on to this horizontal, which is all part of this breakout retest situation. It's not perfect, it's far from perfect. It's not great, it's far from great. But if you move over to the monthly, you're still in quite a strong position. Higher highs, higher lows, above the center of the Bollinger Band being the 21 exponential and the 20 weekly. So it's not the end of the world for the total 2 either. This could be one giant shakeout. It may not be. It might be the beginning of a bear market. It might be. We'll have to reflect, on the way that this looks over the next few weeks or so. But me personally, I'm more than happy to participate in trying to go long, not being shaken out of my positions. At this stage, though, I have to say some of my positions are now underwater. So it's the first time in a long time, actually, that I've got underwater positions. They're not dramatic, and it's not across the board, but my Ethereum one is underwater. I bought that at 3,000, 2,800, 2,600, and here we are, around 2,500. Now, these things happen, alright? These things happen. Still, from a risk-to-reward perspective, which is what I'm always trying to ask people to look at when they make their own decisions. Risk to reward, where is it that you're looking to ride this up to, over what time frame, and don't just buy things blindly. Everything I bought has been bought at supports, and like I say, for the most part, it's still significantly in profit, but there are now, and I have now got some underwater positions, and with that does come a little bit of skepticism about my own analysis, but that doesn't mean I'm going to write it all off and close everything and retire and hibernate for an 18-month period expecting a bear market. There are some things that you could look at and go, maybe a bear market is about to kick in. And again, you might be able to say that. On the RSI, not bearish divergence. On the money flow index, there was bearish divergence. Okay. On the monthly, that is. On the weekly, what do we have? Well, technically no bearish divergence here, because that is a candle body high and that is a lower high with candle bodies. So no weekly bearish divergence. This is the sort of thing that you would normally look for a particular top. Overheated read, bearish divergence, marking a top, consolidation. That's where we assumed that we would have got one last year. What do we have here? Overheated read, bearish divergence, marking the absolute top. Big old bear market there. So if anything, there's two ways that I think this is going to play. We will either resolve this quite quickly, close back into the 90s, and so long as we're closing around 90, we'll call it 93. We should be looking for immediate continuation from there on the weekly. So we're waiting for Monday morning, or we do sink lower, probably maybe even down into the 70s, perhaps the low 70s, and then we sort of bounce and continue from there. So that's the way I'm kind of looking at it right now. Or you could go down the altcoin route and go, hang on a minute, so the altcoins seem to be not making new lows yet. We had a significant pullback on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Maybe this is an alt season-y type vibe. That is going to be a very unpopular thing to say today. Alt season, I'm sick of this alt season. There's never an alt season. Yeah, it's a frustrating cycle when it comes to alt seasons, but you have to look at that and go, all right. So big dump in the market, but for some reason, structurally, the altcoins have made a higher low. So you know, it's an interesting situation to try and navigate that one there. So what are you going to call that? I'm not calling a 3% move on an altcoin an alt season, but structurally we've got lower lows now on Bitcoin. We've got higher lows on altcoins. Well, the good altcoins at least, anyway. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. Okay, we're going to leave it there. We're going to have to wait for the rest of the day to show us what it's capable of. Personally, not a massive bear right now. I'm a bit of a worried bull, if that's the way to say it. Now, I think that this could result in an alt season. I know it sounds crazy, just because of the evidence that the higher low, right? The higher low. But until we see it, there's no point in me shouting that from the rooftop. If you've heard me say it on this video, that's enough. I'm not going to talk about it. Not going to present it to the world. I can't be dealing with that kind of abuse in the morning. You, all season, can you not see? The charts are red. No, do not use the high low and assume a high will come after that. Don't look at the structural integrity of an altcoin compared to Bitcoin. Look at the red and only the red. Alright, I'll leave it there. I shall leave it there. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.